afternoon, and many thanks for joining us on the program News Analysis, coming to you live on Politics and Business TV, Abuja. My name is Medina Azaki. Now, the political crisis in Rivers State shows no sign of abating, the crisis that has been going on for a while now. Even the president's intervention seems not to solve the problem. The Supreme Court has given a judgment that the governor must present the budget again. Now, the governor went to the State Assembly last week to present the budget, but unfortunately, he was locked out. Now, how do we go from here? What are the compromises that need to be taken, and what way forward? Considering the fact that both parties have been threatening hell, they've been threatening violence, a lot of protests here and there, and a lot of viral videos going on. Where do we go from here? Today, we'll be talking to an elder in the Niger Delta, a man of peace, and one that has seen it all as far as public service is concerned. Dr. Godnose Igali will be joining us on the program. He's the chairman of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF. He'll be speaking to us on the crisis. He'll be giving us an insight of exactly what is happening, and as well as the peace measures that are going to be put in place by the forum. So join us as we speak to him via WhatsApp call. After the break, stay with us. Welcome back. I'm being joined by Dr. Godnose Igali. He is the chairman of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum. He'll be giving us an insight into the crisis as well as the way forward. Dr. Igali, many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
So let me start by asking you, beyond the crisis that we see on the surface, one that has to do with the fallout of a political godfather and his son, is there more to it that we don't know?
Well, I think it's a misunderstanding between the two principal characters, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, who was the former governor that midwives the coming to office of the governor of the state. So it's a political misunderstanding. I don't think we should read too much meaning into it. And there may also be issues of some personal ego. You know, sometimes we allow our personal egos to overtake some of the issues that we carry out in our public functions.
How worrisome is it to you?
It's very, very worrisome, because instability in any part of the country is instability to the entire country. More so, instability in this case in any of the states in the South-South is instability to the entire South-South or Niger Delta of the country. And mind you, this is the hard belt of the oil industry of the country, which brings a substantial percentage of government revenue. And Port Harcourt is the headquarters of the South-South, which makes it very disturbing, because disruptions to peace in Port Harcourt can reverberate and can spread to affect the rest of the region. So to us in the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, as the mother organization of the people of the Niger Delta, this is not quite good.
Okay. I know you had a meeting, your forum, the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, you had a meeting with the president last week. What is the body language of the president? Is it one that wants a final solution, or one that plays to the gallery?
I don't think the president was playing to the gallery at his level. He showed a lot of respect for the personalities that went for the meeting, a lot of them chairman of traditional council of states, very senior Nigerians, people that have held some of the highest offices in this country, former governors, about 5 of them, former ministers, almost about 5 or 6 of them, senators, former senators, about 20, traditional rulers, first-class traditional rulers, about 20, religious leaders, bishops, so it was a very high-level delegation, and the president showed them a lot of respect in his interaction with them. He created a convivial atmosphere that made it easy to discuss with him. And on the real issues, we presented several issues besides River State, and he assured us that he'll look into all of them. So we are hopeful that government will attend to them one by one. Specifically on River State, the President said 2 things. He said that he believes in rule of law, and that he had tried to intervene in the matter, and some people felt that his own efforts were not right. And now that the Supreme Court has passed the judgment, the governor should try to implement the judgment. That's number 1. Number 2, he thanked the elders from Niger Delta for their effort in making peace, and urged them, please go back and continue making peace. Try your best. Talk to the governor to do his part, and also continue your national service, because we need peace. So those are the things he said, and I think his body language did not show anything to the contrary.
Okay, before I go to the other issues that were presented during the meeting, after the meeting, the governor tried reaching out to the National State Assembly members. He even went to present the budget, but he was locked out. So do you think the other party is really ready for peace?
Well, we have a Peace and Reconciliation Committee headed by the former governor of Akwa Ibom State, His Excellency Obon Victor Atta, and some former governors and former senators who are members of that committee, very elderly people in their 70s and 80s, from other states apart from River State, who are members. And they went to, they met with the governor twice. They met with some of the top supporters of Wike. They met with some of the top supporters of the governor, and they've made a lot of progress. But unfortunately, their efforts so far to meet face-to-face with the minister or even speak with him on the phone have not proved abortive. And that's a very disturbing thing, because he is the main party in this issue. So that has created a problem of going forward. To the extent that they met some of his most senior people shows that there's hope for peace. Secondly, for the members of House of Assembly, it came as a surprise to everybody that they did not wait to receive the governor. First, they complained that they were not properly informed, and I think the governor now ruled them properly, gave a sufficient time, and they did not reply him. Rather, the House said, we have gone on indefinite recess, and we don't know if they have resumed. So I think that one cannot advise the members of the House that, as the saying goes, to jaw is better than to war. Let us jaw. Let us talk and talk until we disagree and finally agree. It helps all people. In conflict, it's very destabilizing, and sometimes it's easy to start conflict. You don't know how it to end. So we encourage members of House of Assembly, as the Supreme Court has given them backing to come back, to also carry an olive branch and reach out to the governor and be able to work together with him.
Okay, it's very understandable if the minister of the FCT, has refused to come for any of the meetings. He has been saying that even if the governor is impeached, nothing will happen. Don't you think it's high time the president should call him to order to say, look, you are the principal actor here, and you must ensure that there is peace in your state? Shouldn't it be something the president should do?
Well, when Chief Balola and the Dele Farotimi had issues, Yoruba elders, traditional rulers came together to prevail on them to settle out of court. And I think both parties showed great respect for their traditional authorities and for the elders. In like manner, since October, the elders of Niger Delta have tried to reach. And we made sure that we brought people who are very, very dispassionate, very independent-minded, not from any of the states, not from River State, I mean, to come in. These are people that have held very high offices, former governors and former chief whips of the Senate. So, yes, I think that it is time for the president also to encourage his minister to seek peace, because it is the saying goes, a situation of the winner takes it all never works. When two brothers in my place, they say when two brothers go to court to settle them and court says you are right, you are wrong, they will never shake hands or hug again, because it has not come through the heart of the people. It has been forced on them. So it is always important that people remember that after every conflict, there is life all ahead of time. And it is possible for us to sit down. When I enter a flight on my way to Port Harcourt, because I pass through Port Harcourt almost every week, in the plane, you see that we have people from the two sides sitting. Sometimes they'll find themselves in the same seat. What do? You don't talk to each other. You have become bitter enemies. The children go to same schools. We go to the same churches. We go to same weddings and burials. The other time I was in a particular burial of a prominent leader somewhere in River State. And the day before the burial, because this person I'm talking about is close to the governor, one of the person from his area, close to Wiki, came the day before and said, I will not be here tomorrow. Then I asked him, why? This is your community, this is your area. You come for the burial. He said, well, you know this crisis, I can't be seen. I said, my friend, you're losing your mind. What kind of life is that? Your close friend from your place is burying his mother. You can't be with him because you belong to another side, the political divide. This is what we tell members of the assembly, we tell the minister, we tell the people on the governor's side. There is always life ahead. They are all young men in their 30s and 40s, very few of them in their 50s. So it is there are a few people in this conflict that are up to 60 years. They are just people in their 50s and 40s.
All right.
Some even in their 30s. So why don't you got life ahead? And so we keep encouraging peace. We keep preaching peace. And we hope that the minister will hear. We hope that Mr. President will encourage his minister to embrace peace, because peace is better than every other way of existence.
Beyond working for peace, is your committee also, preparing for the unknown? That is, if the impeachment goes ahead to happen.
Well, I don't think that it's a right time for impeachment to take place. It will create a lot of complications in the matter. It's not you and I alone that are talking. You know, little things can go off the cliff. There are a lot of young people out there who feels very radical, very fundamental about these things. And when people belong to one side, you impeach their person or you try to oust their people completely, then people get angry. And sometimes there's a tendency even to do things that are not right. So we should look for a solution that is win-win for everybody. And that is what PANDEF is preaching. That is what PANDEF has offered to do and has been trying to do since late part of last year. So we do not hope that the impeachment will take place. We don't even want this present dry temper. This person goes here, shouts and talks. The good thing is that the governor is not the talking type, so you hardly hear him talk. But the fact that some of the supporters on this side are talking, supporters on the other side are talking, is not good at all.
So what are you doing to tame down the supporters? Because there have been some viral videos going around and people are threatening heaven will fall, and there's so many protests going on. What are you doing with the protesters as we speak?
This is what I'm saying. Those of us who are involved in peace will continue, and that is why when the minister made some very inflammatory remarks on his media chat, abusing even some of the elders and showing disrespect, some of us felt that it was very wrong, because there are codes of ethics of public officers where public officers have to show decency, have to show decorum, and have to show a level of respect for the for all Nigerians. And that's when you take the oath to say, I will do unto all Nigerians. I will do to all Nigerians, including the low and the high. Treat them with respect and with in a very respectful manner. That's people who hold office are called public servants. They are servants of the people. So that's why some of us corrected the minister shouldn't do that, because when you do that, you are raising the temperature of the conflict. And we do hope that the supporters on the two sides will keep the law. The law must be kept. They must be peaceful. They must be law-abiding, and we insist on that.
All right, Ambassador, as we wrap up, what is the compromise for each party should make as we head for peace?
Politics is about power, allocation of power, sharing of power, and being relevant. My former boss, President Obasanjo, would say, what is important is to be relevant. Your relevance may not give you the maximum, but it can give you the minimum. It can give you somewhere in the middle. So I think that when things happen like this, people have to sit down on the table, look at it, bring out the chess board and see who takes what and who gets what. And it's a win-win. That is a negotiation. But is it Palestinians and Israelis? Is it Ukraine and Russia? At the end of the day, after fighting, after injuring each other, after bringing so much pain on each other, you still negotiate on the table. We don't expect that this conflict will get out of hand. But it's a political conflict. It's a storm, yes, but it's a storm still in a teacup. But we don't hope that it goes outside the teacup. But if it goes beyond that, then you have a situation whereby things will go bad. Human beings may be harmed. Or before you now come and sit down to talk, by then wrong things will have taken place. So once more we appeal, at every given opportunity, we appeal to the leaders of Rivers State that all of you should try and work towards peace.
All right. I'm afraid we just have to leave it here. I know with the discussion we'll keep the discussion as development unfold. Ambassador Dr. Godnose Igali, National Chairman, PAN Niger Delta Forum, PANDEV. Many thanks, sir, for your time with us today.
Thank you very much. Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you, too. And for sports update, let's join Tom.
Good afternoon, welcome to P&B Sports News. I am Tom. In the Nigerian Premier League, Ikorodu City led Enyimba with Oyedokun scoring the first goal in the first half, while in the second half, Enyimba's Odufeso and Atule scored at the 67th and 73rd minute simultaneously. With Ikorodu City trying to create a late comeback, they were able to sneak in a goal at extra time to tie the game at 2-2. Over to the Carabao Cup. Newcastle won their first trophy in the English football for 70 years with a stirring 2-1 win over Liverpool at Wembley Stadium. Dan Burn headed Newcastle into a deserved lead on the stroke of halftime, and Alexander Isak expertly dispatched his 23rd goal of the season in the 52nd minute to send the Newcastle fans into raptures. Liverpool's Federico Chiesa scored a consolation goal in injury time, but it wasn't enough to change the outcome. That's all for P&B Sports News. I'm Tom.
And that is the size of our bulletin today. Many thanks for joining us on the program. We'll see you again tomorrow. From me, Medina Azaki, and the whole team here, it's bye for now.